Hi, and welcome to the uses of hypnosis in psychotherapy. And in this three-part series of short video presentations, I'm going to show you the therapeutic potential of hypnosis, and particularly the modern, indirect form of conversational hypnosis we call uncommon hypnotherapy. In this first video, I'm going to show you a live client session with a woman who presents with multiple issues on the first session, because I feel live footage is essential when training therapy skills, because as a practitioner, there's no better way to learn than seeing something done. So as you'll see in a moment, Frances came for help managing her fears and anxieties and depression, as well as addictive eating. She's a single mum and a full-time carer for her elder daughter who's autistic. Frances also has type 2 diabetes. She's overweight and wants help in getting slimmer, and her multiple anxiety issues partly stem, as you'll see, from a violent relationship she had previously escaped from. So, as you may know, I've been training therapists in how to use clinical hypnosis for 20 years now, and I wouldn't be without hypnosis in my own toolkit, and I certainly wouldn't be able to help people nearly as well as I can if I didn't know hypnosis. But it's more than just the hypnosis itself, it's the insight into psychology that the uncommon approach to hypnotherapy has given me that's been so useful. You see, hypnosis is such a central part of the mind that it's impossible to separate it out from everyday experience. And when you know what it is, what a trance state is, you can see it in nearly every psychological process. And this understanding gives you tremendous power, both in controlling your own psychological processes and in helping others manage theirs. So, for example, understanding what hypnosis is totally explains how PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, works. It shows what's happening in extreme emotional states like anger, OCD, or depression. It illuminates the experience of peak performance and how to achieve flow states. In short, I personally think that understanding hypnosis means you can understand people, and in a much simpler, more usable way than a dead weight of psychological theory has been able to do for decades. I know this sounds a little bombastic, so I mean, if hypnosis were that great, everyone would be doing it, wouldn't they? Well, the thing is, they are. They are using it, or more accurately, sometimes being used by it, in all the emotional problems I've mentioned, and more. I've used this analogy before, but it's so perfectly apt when it comes to explaining hypnosis. You know the story of the little fish who asks the crab what life is like on land, and the crab says, well, it's much brighter and warmer, and there are animals that walk around on two legs, and there's no water. And the little fish says, wow, that sounds amazing, but just one thing. What is water? And I love that little story, and I can't think of a better way to get across just how submerged we all are in the trance experience, how central a part it is to our lives. Learning about hypnosis is like getting your hands on the control panel of human experience. So how often has a client said to you, I know it's silly that I get so angry or frightened about this, or I know logically that a little spider won't harm me, but... And it's frustrating for your client that these behaviors seem to control them. But as a therapist who understands hypnosis and the unconscious mind, you can quickly help them break out of the trance state anger or fear has locked them into. So, could I have treated Frances without hypnosis? Maybe, but definitely not as quickly and not as deeply. The reason why conversational or Ericksonian hypnosis is such a powerful tool for therapists of all kinds is because it's the unconscious mind that produces and maintains so many emotional states. So that's a level we need to work on. That's not to say that helping a person challenge thoughts and work on the conscious level can't be effective too in helping modify unconscious drives and emotional distortions. But working without any hypnotic intervention tends to take much longer, and I would suggest usually has a weaker effect. So knowing how to apply conversational hypnosis can make all the difference to your clients and your practice. And in this video, I just want to show you exactly how hypnosis can transform your clients' lives from the very first session. So it's important to be clear about hypnosis, I think. Hypnosis isn't a therapy in itself. Hypnosis is just an incredibly effective delivery system for therapy. And when I use the term conversational hypnosis, I mean a kind of natural, congruent way of using hypnosis in therapy. A way that's naturalistic and doesn't rely on weird hypnotic inductions or the outmoded use of reading from a script to your client. So let's just watch as I treat Francis now on the first session. I've also subtitled what's happening in the video so you can see behind the curtains, as it were.
Okay, so thanks for coming on. And what is it, Francis, that you would really like help with today?
I think the first thing I need to tackle is my anxiety. I have anxiety and depression, but I've suffered with depression all my life, and I find that more manageable than the anxiety. Mm-hmm. The anxiety takes its form in all sorts of ways. I can be driving along and I might imagine that the car in front of me might brake too hard, or if I hear a fire engine, I might think that something bad is going to happen. I have particular problems with parking. If I feel I'm not in the right spot, I may not be able to leave the car park if something happens. And a lot, those are the outside anxieties. If I'm indoors, then and my daughters are out, then I might think something might happen. I know that it's not real, but that seems to be what I can't control.
What's the thing about parking, by the way, parking your car?
Well, it's a bit deep, but that's, one of the reasons I'm here. I was in quite a violent relationship,
right.
Which I became free of 7 years ago. And I think that stems from that, really, from being able to escape or leave, when I need to.
Right.
So I think that's the root of that one. But I can't shift it.
So the feeling that if you could to, help me relax a bit. But also do something about this parking. So what? Describe about the parking. Well, you really worry where you park, do you?
I have to. I didn't get time with coming to see you, but usually what I would have to do is check out where I'm going,
right.
Especially if it's somewhere new. So I was very anxious today because I didn't have time to come over to Lewis yesterday. I'm very good.
So you stake out the area before you go there?
I have to.
All right, okay.
So that I know where I can park.
So you make a fast getaway?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Which I'd rather not do.
You don't do this outside banks, do you?
No.
And you're a full-time carer for your daughter?
Yeah.
As well. So do you worry about her a lot? Or?
Not my. I have two daughters. Not my eldest daughter because she's always with me.
Right.
So, but my youngest daughter is 15 and doing what a 15-year-old should.
Yeah.
So I worry about her.
Yeah.
My logical mind does understand.
Yeah.
But my anxious mind says, it's all going to end.
Really, I suppose as a start, it would be good to do something about this anxiety, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. And you mentioned weight as well. And how recently did more weight come on? Because you were slimmer.
It was very quick, actually. In the year that I decided to leave my last partner, I was on a lot of antidepressants.
Right.
And I feel they made me hungry. They'd put me on 100 milligrams of, I can't think what it was called, it began with F. And the more they gave me, the hungrier I felt. Now, my doctor was saying to me the reason that was happening was because I was feeling happier. Well, I wasn't feeling happier.
No.
I was just gorging.
Yeah.
And over the years, since we've been back home, I'm able to lose weight, but very slowly. So I'm losing half a stone a year.
Right.
And what's happening now, and I can see it happening, is I'm becoming more and more frustrated because I'm not losing weight. You know, I don't want to lose 10 stone in a year, but I want to be able to see progress, and there is no progress, because then if I have a bad anxiety or depressive attack, I'm then eating. So do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm going around in a circle with the weight.
Learning from your future self. So right now in your mind, like you settle back and just observe yourself from the future, like watching TV. That's it. Going out in the car and just looking fitter and healthier. Just going and arriving and relaxing with the natural uncertainties of daily life. What's going on here? The monkey said, well, the sky's falling in. And how do you know this? Well, I heard it. I heard it starting. You have been through so much. And it's the stone in the sea that gets washed around the most that ends up the most polished. Or the seed that comes from manure that grows into the best tree or plant or flower. You have more within you than you know. In your mind, you could take a walk into the future along a beautiful pathway. You know, it's like a bird that was in a cage, and the cage door opens and the bird still behaves as if it's trapped when it's not. And actually, of course, it needs a little bit of encouragement to find that it's no longer imprisoned in that cage. It can begin to fly free. And to begin to soar through the blueness of the sky and go anywhere and rest on a warm breeze, flow into the future. And that cage is just something in the past.
Okay, so as you can see, Francis has a few issues to deal with. We'll go on to the follow-up session in a moment, but I wanted to just comment a little on what I was trying to do there. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yes, the whole video of Francis is included inside our Uncommon Hypnotherapy course. So, when clients have a history of depression, it's so important to help them diminish their anxiety and worry very quickly, because reducing anxiety helps lift depression. Conversational hypnosis as a way of delivering effective therapy is so powerful because it helps us help people fast, and therefore gives them hope that your therapy is actually going to work for them. When you use conversational hypnosis in your therapy, then you enable clients to feel better after being with you, and also notice changes from that very first session. And when this happens, you have much more motivated clients happy to come back and engage in the therapy itself. Before I just show you clips from the follow-up session with Francis a week after the first session, I just want to be sure you understand just how different this form of hypnosis is from what you might be used to. So you might associate therapeutic hypnosis with the old cliched authoritarian hypnosis, the old "you are getting sleepy, look into my eyes" type approach. Or you might have associations of stage hypnosis in your mind and think of it like some kind of carnival trick, But true Ericssonian therapeutic hypnosis, what we call uncommon hypnotherapy, is not like that at all. It's much more like a conversation. It's artful and organic and can be woven into normal communication. So we have therapeutic communication. When we were training professional hypnotherapists on our diploma course at Brighton University, we were delighted to find that after a while, the people coming on the course were often already well established as therapists, often as counsellors, psychotherapists, many CBTers. We even had a few doctors and psychiatrists training with us. And we also got established hypnotherapists coming along because they'd been trained in old-style hypnotherapy and had realised how limiting it could be. For them, it was a big step to stop using scripts or standard inductions with their clients. And that's not uncommon, that people are underconfident in their ability to hypnotise others, even after they've been trained. Okay. But over the years, we've trained thousands of people how to use hypnosis, and our approach has been carefully refined to give you that confidence. What's also important to remember is that using conversational hypnosis allows you to use hypnotic principles outside of the formal hypnotic procedure. So the old idea was that people only went into hypnosis when you had them close their eyes and started to talk funny, Uncommon hypnotherapy recognizes that hypnotic trance states happen all the time, and that many problematic emotional states, such as fears, phobias, acute anger, and depression and addiction, all have a strong, naturally occurring hypnotic element to them. They all lock the focus. It also emphasizes that if you want to deliver an idea to a client, you need to do it in such a way that it connects with the unconscious mind and not just the conscious mind. If you saw the whole session with Francis and you knew how to spot it, you'd see that she goes in and out of trance many times before finally closing her eyes and relaxing within a longer trance. We as therapists need to use these mini trances as well as longer, more traditionally recognizable ones. Okay, so here's Francis a week later during her second session.
I noticed yesterday that there have been an absence of police cars and ambulances around me within my hearing.
Right.
I don't think they're on strike, but I presume that I'm not listening out for them anymore.
Yeah.
Which was quite a major one for me, because I would hear fire engines and ambulances and police cars at least 5 or 6 times a day.
Right.
So that was quite a shock for me, but a nice one.
Yeah.
That I'm obviously ignoring the threat or potential threat coming.
Yeah.
The parking and the driving, as I left here, I got 5 minutes into my journey and my little demon came in my head and it said, "Do you know what, now that you're trying to sort things out, you're going to crash and die." So I laughed that one off because it was trying to...
And it deserved to be laughed off.
That's right. So I had a bit of a giggle about that one.
Right.
And I thought, there we go. And I haven't had any fears about driving or parking since then, apart from today. I remember from our session last week, you said to me about seeing myself looking better. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that when I'm eating, that image comes into my head. And in actual fact, I'm not eating as much, a bigger portion as I would have done. I haven't been snacking either this week.
Okay.
And like I said, my portions haven't been, not been smaller necessarily, but I've been thinking when I start to feel full, that image is coming in my head and I think, stop now. My dreams have also been a lot better.
Have they?
Yes.
Okay.
Very normal.
Yeah. Normal dreams.
Sorting things out, you know.
Okay.
So not, because they were very peculiar, but they haven't been this week.
So the dreams have settled down as well?
Yeah.
Okay, we'd expect more of that as well, you know. Well, can you describe that image?
It's initially I thought it was me but taller, but I think in actual fact I was sitting down and looking at myself ahead, so therefore I would appear to be taller. Do you see?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And my other self is walking somewhere quite happily, and they turn around and smile at me.
Right.
That's the image that I keep.
So are they beckoning you to follow them?
No, I think they're saying goodbye to this me.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Okay. So what you could do now, okay, is just to let those eyes close, perhaps. Yeah. Maybe put your hands apart. That's right. And let the eyes close, and just like you to again notice that in a few moments, to mind can come a even clearer image of that you in the future. That's it, that lighter you standing up there. That's waving goodbye, but in a very kind of encouraging kind of a way.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I'll be seeing Frances a few more times as she gets healthier, slimmer, and happier. So, as you saw, Frances is a warm and articulate woman who, after just one session, seems calmer, and I noticed she seems to smile a lot more the second time I met her as well, which as a therapist I'm glad to see, of course. And as a therapist, it's a wonderful feeling to know that you have a tool that will radically shift your client's state of mind within the first session. So you can be confident that when they leave, they're going to feel better than when they came in, even if it's just because they've relaxed very deeply with you. For me, there's no better feeling than knowing your work has lightened the load of a person suffering, that you've helped a member of your community go on to live a happier and easier life. So next time, I'm going to give you 3 hypnotic techniques you can use with your client, even if you're not a hypnosis practitioner at the moment. These are the effect bridge, which you may already use, but did you know it's a hypnotic technique, plus resource amplification and resource bridging. There are 3 simple techniques, and I'll be showing you those next time. And I promise you can apply them with your next client without having to know a word of hypnotic language. So please let me know what you thought of this presentation below, and I'd love to hear from you if I've managed to give you an insight into hypnosis that you didn't have before, and I'll see you in a few days for the second part of this short course.